get more comfortable doing the curves and turns.
And it's different on asphalt.
I'm not as fast as I used to be, so that's why I needed a little bit more practice.
And I've never done anything like that before yesterday.
There you go. You have to step back and look at it. Take those expectations off yourself.
Yeah, I was just
allow yourself to play a little bit.
frustrated.
And that's okay.
I'll get used to it. I just need to do it more. Repetition.
When people think of cycling challenges, they think of the epic climbs and relentless miles.
I've got to climb better. It's hard to pull this much weight up a hill.
To finish Steamboat Gravel is no joke.
Feels awkward. Feels really awkward.
You have to believe.
So this is really like your first real gravel ride.
Yeah, this is the first time on gravel.
125 miles, over 10,000 feet of climbing.
We're in hell.
A test of endurance, spirit, and willpower.
That was super wild.
Nobody has ever conquered a race this tough without having to dig deep.
It's killing us.
Especially if you're brand new to gravel cycling.
So I got a lot of work to do.
We take 4 beginner cyclists and push them to their limits.
I didn't know if I could get out of bed. That's how sick I felt.
Challenging them to conquer some of the toughest bike races in the country.
We've come a really long way in a really short time.
This is more than just a race. This is a journey. And we're starting from the ground up.
So after 4 years of this project, I think we've learned that fitness is important, but skills are even more important. The Skills Camp in Bentonville allows us to teach people what they need to go and take on a race like Steamboat. When they encounter sand at Steamboat, we want them to be ready, and being ready means muscle memory. So the skills this week in Bentonville are to allow them to learn and adapt in a very safe environment.
It feels awkward. Feels really awkward.
We think as early as we can in the process, bringing people to a place like Bentonville where they can learn every type of skill on every type of terrain, and then have that be a learned process throughout while they go to Gunnison and do a riding camp, and go to Steamboat and show up for the race. That by the time they get there and encounter something that could put them on the ground, they're ready for it.
Learning anything, especially riding a bike, is more fun when it's with other people. So we decided to put on a gravel riding camp where newer riders can learn some fundamental skills alongside Brandalea, Rich, Lou, and Kristen.
The first skill they need to tackle Steamboat is learning how to clip in.
Clipping into a bike, that instills deep fear in a lot of people. And we're not even talking about riding. We're talking about getting your foot attached to a pedal and then moving into doing what you have to do.
This is the discovery phase, everybody.
It's something that they need to do to be successful in this endeavor towards Steamboat Gravel.
Try to get the balls of your feet in a really good position on the pedals.
They're gonna have to get through that initial barrier to entry. Sometimes that's tough, you know? We had some moments where you could see the frustration growing.
I got a lot to learn on how to make a turn.
Some of that frustration, if managed well, can work well. That can motivate some of these participants a little bit more and help them get through some of those issues that they're dealing with, both mentally and physically.
Shit. I was going way too fast with those.
So I came into today nervous about the Clippins. This morning we went to roll out to ride to the skills camp. I was like, oh, we can't do this. So I took the cleats or the Clippins off and put my regular sneakers on. If it was like a paved street bike path, like you just go, I would have been okay, but like kind of start stop, you said morning traffic. Yeah, I gotta protect the moneymaker. Come on. It's been on the back of my mind coming down to Bentonville. I wish I had had my bike, wish I could have practiced clipping in, clipping out. I knew that once I did it enough, it would become second nature, but it's not right now.
Yeah, we'll put them on when we get to the grass. So Brandalea made the good point of, we've never clipped in before. And we both looked at each other like, we don't really want to be watching out for cars and trying to figure out how to clip in and clip out. So we made the call like, let's just wear shoes and then put them on when we get there. it was better to build confidence on grass than on concrete.
Brenda Lee hasn't done a loop yet. She's gonna do a loop.
She's gonna get in.
So I think after getting that out, it was like, okay, I'm all right. It's gonna be an adventure. I feel like at home, I have to think all day long about really hard things. And I'm thinking about so many things at one time. He would talk and say a lot of things, and then I would just pick one thing that I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna focus on this.
Everybody can do this. You're gonna come in, you're gonna ease into that rear brake, and we're gonna try to get slowed down a little bit without locking the rear brake up.
And so being able to concentrate really hard on one thing just felt really awesome.
We're escalating things quickly, and Kristen in particular, all three of us have been watching her. It's making sense. When it clicks, it works really well. And the byproduct of it working really well is you give yourself more time in the turn. So I want to explain to everybody that's what we're after, but once you get there, use that. You are exhibiting it so well. Andy came to me, Taylor came to me, they're like, dude, are you watching this? I said, hell yeah, I'm watching this.
I'm surprised at how good I feel, and I think it's just because my brain got a break from the normal day-to-day and got to really focus hard on something that I've never learned before. I've never heard any of those things that he talked about today, and so just really trying to hone in and get it in my brain and then practice it over and over again.
I'm proud of everybody, not only for the effort that you put in, but dealing with some frustration and working through that and allowing it to motivate you. You earned this one. You gotta go potato, French fry.
I think by the end of day one, everyone's feeling a bit more comfortable clipping in, but it's definitely gonna change when we get onto some dirt, harder surfaces where the consequence is a little bit higher for not quite getting out in time.
To take on any gravel race, you need a lot of skills. So the goal of Bentonville is to break all of that down to base level, focus on each skill individually, and then be able to go home and practice those things even more.
Yesterday, everybody did great with braking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it now to this different surface. So the idea is from the grass to this. The surface is different. Body position is gonna be the same. Technique is gonna be the same. We've showed them best practices with brakes. They understand how to easily feed into the brakes and be effective with braking, and we've taught them how to turn effectively. With that newfound skill set and a solid understanding of the why, and we're gonna stair step them into those scenarios.
I feel real comfortable doing this today.
So here we have a lot of gravel connectors. So they're not roads traveled by vehicles, they're paths specifically set up for gravel. And we have a couple really steep and choice areas that we're gonna build some comfort.
Switch back. Switch back.
Just ahead.
Oh, shit. Turn it.
Oh, jeez.
All good.
The scary downhills on loose gravel. So learned that one quite a few times today. So it looks great on a photo, right? Like it's just a road. Looks perfect, and I'm sure everyone's like, oh, it's no big deal, but when you're on skinnier tires and every little rock, it just kicks you out. You dance a little bit, you move a little bit. First hit a couple of them, especially downhill, you tense up real quick. In the beginning, doing the skills going around the cones, we're learning to counter turn, essentially.
Looser terrain, looser gravel, a little bit more unstable, coming in hot. A little bit of speed on it.
And learning exactly what happens when you turn too sharp on gravel, and the front wheel, I felt it kick out. And I think some weird way, the only thing that saved me was my knee hitting the handlebar. And like it just made me readjust.
What we're doing now is we're bringing up the speed a little bit, and we're giving you a pretty distinct left-hand turn.
Yesterday kicked my ass. I was totally beat yesterday. My body wants to do other things like lean forward or lean in instead of going down on the outside leg, and just trying to get my body comfortable with the bike to do those things.
There you go.
That's no joke, that's the Ryan Road connector.
I hate Ryan Road. How do you think there were hills in Arkansas? There's hills.
There was a moment we did this big steep climb called Bush Push. The story goes that George H.W. Bush was here with the Secret Service team. When they were riding, they came across steep dirt road climb here in Bentonville, and the entire team, as well as George H.W. himself, tried the climb. Only one person made it up. Rumor is George made it up, but there was maybe a push at the top from one of the Secret Service agents. Thus the name, the Bush Push.
You can see how long it is. There's a prize. You get to go up there and pet the rhino.
It's become this thing that people ride past, and you make this courageous decision to look up it and steer your bike toward it. We were coming back with a group of people after 3 days of riding, and a bunch of them wanted to try it. And so myself and Taylor Dean rode up it, showed that it was possible, which I think was the first thing, because I don't think people thought it was possible when you first see it. It's about 25% grade with loose, big rocks about the size of this. People would fail, they get halfway up, they make it almost all the way up. And the first person to get almost all the way there was Luke.
The rhino's waiting for you, bro. Come on, man. Ah! Ah! Shit. Oh, bro. So close.
Measuring at the end of the ride, testing the limits on the bush push, small incline, trying to make it up to the rhino here. So close.
And he starts walking down. It's steep enough that like no one who's made it to the top is trying to ride down. It's that steep.
You gonna give it another go, Lou?
Shit. I'll take, if anybody beats me, I will.
Eyes up, eyes up. Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Come on, Luke. Yes. 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 That's it.
Fuck.
Woo! We're here live at the top of the President George Bush Push. How does it feel, Lou, from the ground up?
Dude, my legs are smoked. Everybody's down here cheering each other on. You know, the coaches are up here cheering us on, and this is really exciting. So I'm enjoying everybody, you know, put the effort in and seeing them get a little bit farther and farther up the mountain. So that's an exciting way to finish the day.
You know, we're a team. We text each other almost daily, which is more than I even text my own family, I think.
I wake up in the morning and I see a text from my mom and then from our group chat.
So we're cheering each other on and looking back for each other, checking on each other, you know, making sure that everybody's okay. It helps kind of build you up a little bit.
And there's no judgment. Like, I don't mind falling in front of them because I know they're going to be there to cheer me on or pick me up. It's just love and support and wanting to see each other push a little bit and yeah, go further.
We're all competitive in our own ways, but we're not competing with each other. It's just we all want to help each other do the best and to help ourselves, you know.
Bring out the best versions of ourselves and one another.
That's right. There we go.
Whenever you want, you'll still get a notification, but this will stay on your grid and it won't disappear.
Okay. That's what family does.
I think one of the really important parts of community is allowing everyone to feel involved. Everyone has a different background, and to bring someone in and truly have people feel comfortable means that everyone needs to know that it's okay if you're a little slower, a little faster, that you're comfortable on single track or uncomfortable on single track, but that at the end of the single track, everyone's gonna wait and hang out, and then you can chat through it, what went wrong, what didn't, and then move forward.
The group is great. You know, everybody here is great, you know, really encouraging.
I think one of the most alienating parts of the sport of cycling is that by nature you feel like you're getting left behind the minute that happens. Even if the people in front don't even know you're going off the back and they're going to wait for you, it's really scary when you're trying to clip in to your pedals and you're seeing that gap open ahead of you. Having one person stay back with you changes your entire perception of that one moment, and then you'll do that same thing for somebody else. And to me, that's the definition of community, and that's what I hope this project instills in everybody.
Look at you go. That was insane. I think now as a group, there's no way that they're not going to be able to get the most out of themselves for the next 5 months because of this dynamic that they have, and they're all pushing each other and they don't want to let each other down. I think seeing that kind of come together so early in the project is really just encouraging and exciting.
After our daughter died, I kind of gave up on stuff. Alexandria, Allie, she was 18 when the car accident. In fact, I tell people I know when their kids start driving, tell them my story so they don't have to go through that. I mean, it was just an accident. And shit happens. It just happened to us. She was special. She was somebody special. She was nice to everybody. She was majoring in animal science, wildlife management. So yeah, her love of the outdoors, and Kathy and I kind of helped with that. And she's so gentle. Whenever we'd be fishing, she'd give the fish a kiss before we'd throw it back, and she'd say, "Go be a fish." So now when I'm helping with kids fishing, I try to get them to kiss a fish, but at least say, "Go be a fish." Yeah, when she died, a lot changed. A lot of what I do now is the want to help others and other people, animals, things because of her. Are you ready to go be an owl? Raptor Conservation Alliance, and she was going to look into maybe doing an internship with them, just something to do that. And I saw they're looking for volunteers about 2 years later. I thought, yeah, okay, there we go. So every time I do this, catch one or release it, I'm always telling it to go be an owl, go be like Allie would, and thinking that this is Allie's work through me, I hope. She's influenced a lot of us, a lot of people. It catches us sometimes by surprise that it's like, damn it, she's not here. It was rough. It took a while. I just kind of buried myself in work after a few weeks to put my mind on something else.
He's a very excellent father. I could not have picked a better man. Even when we were dating, that, this was going to be good husband material and a good father material. He's a top-notch father. Supported whatever I wanted to do and whatever the kids wanted to do.
He's just been, such an inspiration. He's been so hardworking. He's never really had a frown on his face my entire life. I think his charisma and his positive outlook on life and attitude is what I love most about him, especially his positive attitude. He's always had that.
Not too bad. Mornings, the sun's up. Looking pretty good out here.
He has bilateral hip replacements he has severe rheumatoid arthritis. So, he really has to push through sometimes to get through it. He's just been so driven, and he wants to do this so much, and he's just really been very excited. And he hasn't been like this excited in quite a while.
I always carry something of my kids and my wife with me. The do-rag, it's tie-dye with smiley faces. Usually, always when I ride, I tie it over. It looks kind of silly on them, it might be, but I wear that. So I have some of Allie's with me. And now this, Kathy, Aaron, and Allie are all gonna be with me, one way or the other. There's a lot more in us than we know. We've all been through different kinds of struggles with different things away from cycling. So we can all get through stuff that we don't know that we can, but we will.
Rich is more determined than I actually thought he would be when this project started. I knew he was committed, but after the first day, he was frustrated with cornering and he just couldn't quite get it right. And he woke up at 6 in the morning, put his chamois on, and went into the parking lot to work on the cornering. You can tell he really wants to get this right, and he wants to learn this sport.
I'm 60, I've never done anything like this, so it's going to school again.
He's just fully embracing this entire challenge, but also just the community of what this is. He's came up to me so many times just saying how grateful he is for the opportunity. There's no doubt the physical side of this for him up the hills, he's working. He's 60 years old and he hasn't pushed himself like this physically. Every time he gets to the top, he's tired.
You got it.
Good job.
I think the training aspect for him is going to be really important because when we go out to Gunnison and get to altitude and have longer climbs.
You're ripping.
I love the descent.
They're sick.
He's going to need to put in the hours on the bike for this to not be a total misery fest.
My legs are just tired.
I feel like cycling is sometimes hard to step into. I know that the community at home that I have for cycling is just like my son's team, and I've felt very underqualified.
Super tired. I'm feeling really good about myself.
But here I don't feel that. Even with like the 15 people that are here with us, it's so many different levels and everyone's so encouraging, and it's like we can all do different things. It's just you feel like there's a place to fit in. It's way more fun to do biking with people. It's been awesome.
Kristen was one of the more timid ones from the start. Kristen and Brandon Lee were chatting in the morning and decided to ride over with their tennis shoes instead of their riding shoes because they just wanted to feel safer, which was great. But by the end of the day, Kristen was probably riding fastest of the entire group, just tenacious and taking on every corner, and her face was that of determination, and I wouldn't get in front of her.
Steamboats seem so far away from it. Like there's just I have so many goals before then that's a little hard to think about at this point in time because I feel like I'm not ready for it. So to think of doing it is like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem real.
Brandon Lee, I think, had the biggest leap today by far. From the morning to the afternoon, she was doing things she never would have thought she was capable of. And I think for her, that's her journey on this project, is how do you take things on that are literally impossible an hour ago and then feel like you've made that step forward yourself and it's you doing it.
I mean, this morning when I saw the drills, I was like, well, I can't do those. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna ride like 14 miles later. I was like, I've never ridden more than like 7, maybe 10 on like a bike path. And I fucking did it.
I feel I don't want to let these guys down. But there's a lot of compliments today. Like, you're doing great this whole time. You know, you're doing awesome. And it's like, you don't hear that all the time. My big thing is like, I don't want to let you guys down. You know, I don't want to let Lexi and Ryan down. I don't want to let myself down at all. And I want to be some type of leader and show these guys, man, like, let's put our heads down and just grind it. Whatever that looks like for you, if you're doing that, then hey, man, you're going to be successful.
More tired than usual.
On the next episode of From the Ground Up, our riders head to Gunnison, Colorado to get their lungs ready for some high altitude riding, put their skills and fitness to the test.
We're in hell.
We are in a beautiful landscape, Richard.